Man, what is happening, my YouTube family? Of course, it is your boy B New. I'm coming at you on this Friday. TGIF, man, to everybody. And first and foremost, as always, just want to send out positive vibrations and blessings to anybody who could be listening. Now, with all that being said, we know that the Los Angeles Lakers will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves on tonight. And of course, they will be down many key players, as we all know. THT still in protocol, and we know Russell Westbrook has now joined THT as well as Dwight Howard in that COVID protocol. I know Malik Monk was trying to get back 2 negative tests so he could return to the lineup. I haven't seen whether or not he's been able to do so as of yet, but with all that being said, we know that the Lakers did, however, because of being down so many players, they were able to use the exception as far as using a 10-day contract for emergency purposes, and they have signed Isaiah Thomas and brought him into the fold. Now, we all know what Isaiah Thomas brings to the table offensively, and we know he does not bring anything to the table defensively. So at this point, not even sure why the Lakers would have went and signed him up for this 10-day contract, but what I'm assuming is Rajon Rondo has been getting a lot of DNPs lately, and we know Russell Westbrook handles the ball a lot and is ball dynamic, and we know as well that LeBron James is as well. Now, they have been staggering LeBron James's and Russell minutes, even though they have been spending a lot of time on the floor together as well. But typically, with LeBron handling the ball so much, they play, lineups without a true point guard, so to speak. And with all that being said, Rondo has been getting several DNPs and have not even played, as part of the backup lineup in Frank Vogel's rotation. So now, being down to Russell Westbrook, I'm curious to see not only just Westbrook, but the other players I mentioned before, is what Frank Vogel is going to do as far as a starting lineup on tonight. Now, that information should come out later on today, and I'll try to post that to my page so you guys can check that out, and you do the same. Of course, put down in the comments if you get any alerts as to what the lineup will be looking like for tonight. Now, with all that being said, I'm assuming that Rondo will go ahead and get the start because of the experience that he has with playing with LeBron James previously, and I think they can play off of each other. And Rondo, knows how to cut to the basket still, even at his age, and get shots up attempted at the basket, even in the presence of bigs. And we also know that he has improved somewhat on his outside shot, and a lot of times they leave him wide open for shots. And if he can make those, then hey, the Lakers will be in business. But at the same time, without THT, without Westbrook, and without Avery Bradley, I mean, that's going to be a real tough go for the Lakers, and I think that's the main reason why they signed Isaiah Thomas, because they really needed somebody with some real NBA experience to come in and help them, considering they are going to be so short-handed. I still, everybody saw Isaiah Thomas hit the 40 in the G League the other night, so he's still capable of playing, and you can say that's the G League, you can say whatever, but at the end of the day, most of those G League players we all know have played in the NBA, or at some point or another, or will play in the NBA at some point or another. Now, for him to be able to still go out and put up that many points, just shows that he's more of a savvy veteran, and he can get it done against the youngsters on the floor. So if he can give you half of what he gave you in the G League game and the NBA game to make up for what Russ was giving us in the absence, then that'll be a good thing, because you have to think about this. People can say what they want to about Russ and knock Russ and say, oh, well, that's good, they'll be better without Russ. Well, you saw my previous 2 shows and what we talked about, and how I was saying more so the Lakers would be better without Anthony Davis, because he hasn't been bringing much to the table. But I think Russell Westbrook has learned his place in Los Angeles as far as fitting in with LeBron, and with Anthony Davis, and they still have a long way to go, but they still got a lot of games left to figure it out. And you can see the chemistry is gelling, especially on the defensive end of the floor. That's because they are starting to learn each other, and it takes time for you to develop chemistry, not just on the offensive end. To me, and I said it, if you go back and look at previous tapes of what I said on the shows, how many times did I say it takes longer to develop defensive chemistry than it does offense, because you have to be willing to trust. You have to be willing to trust on the defensive end that if you go to double and you leave your man, that the next man got your back and not going to make you look bad in your defensive PUR. You understand what I'm saying? So, and players look at that, and that's why you see a lot of times people yelling at each other during the game on missed assignments on defense, you know. But as you can see, the Lakers have crept up into the top 10 in defense now at number 9. And I told people, and people previously in the comments, other people said, well, they don't have the personnel to be a top 10 defense. And I said, yes, they do. You think Anthony Davis can't play defense? You think LeBron James is not capable of playing defense? You think THT stepped up his defensive prowess a lot? Malik Monk is the only one who hasn't really stepped up on the defensive end, but I've seen it in spurts. You know, defense is all about trust. And the Lakers gather more trust from one another. I'm not concerned that they're going to continue to gel as a team. And, you know, even with just LeBron and Anthony Davis tonight, if LeBron were to run the point the majority of the night, I would be happy. But you got to understand the depth is simply not there with everybody being out. I mean, you still have DeAndre Jordan when you want to go big. The other night they started AD at center, but, you know, that was because they still had other players who could step up. But now with Russell Westbrook out, and it's looking real bad for me right now, y'all. I got to be careful. I'm about to get ran down out here. All right, I had to get in where I fit in. But anyway, as far as I was saying, being short-staffed and short-handed like that is going to be tough for the Lakers to be able to go about having any semblance of their normal rotation. So it's going to be very interesting to see, because y'all always know I'm all over Frank Vogel and how poor his rotations are. But I think tonight, you know, if I had to go with a starting lineup, I'm thinking with them being short, he might, you know, have Austin Reeves in the starting lineup, considering they're down THT and they down Russ. So you might be looking at a starting lineup of maybe, let's say Rondo could be point, put AR-15 at the 2 spot, LeBron at the 3 spot, AD at the 4, and then DeAndre at the 5, which may not be the best because they don't have a Dwight Howard. So if you started both AD and DeAndre, it's going to be tough to rotate them out and come back in with other bigs. So matter of fact, scratch that. Probably AD is going to get that center. LeBron going to have to move over to the 4, and then I would imagine that maybe Wayne Ellington and AR-15 could get the starting spot along with Rondo, and then you just have to go from there. I can still see that they can go 9 deep or 10 deep because they have a very experienced bench. That's one benefit that the Lakers do have. So, and let's not forget about Kent Bazemore, who has a lot of experience, who I would like to see get more playing time, because I feel like he hasn't had an opportunity to get into rhythm at all this season as of yet. And of course, Isaiah Thomas could come in and spell Rajon Rondo as far as the point guard. I'm pretty sure he will be available tonight. Having played in the G League the other day, I'm pretty sure he passed any kind of physicals or protocols necessary. If that is not the case, please comment below and let me know. But I'm pretty sure that Isaiah Thomas will be available for tonight's game, as the Lakers will be taking on the Minnesota Timberwolves. And we know the Timberwolves are falling to 9th place, and they want to continue to try to scratch for a playoff bid, or at least be in the play-in game. So they are going to be very hungry for a win. Karl-Anthony Towns and company are going to be coming and gunning, as anyway always teams do for the Lakers anyway. People want to play their best because they want to beat LeBron James and the Lakers. But I'm telling y'all, it's not going to happen. And now you're going to see a 4-game winning streak, and you are going to see the Lakers be 4 games above 500 as they creep up higher into the standings in search of that top 4 spot, so they can have a home court advantage in the first round and have a better seeding going throughout the playoffs. Because we all know the NBA is not like the NFL. They do not reseed in the second round. They got brackets, which I don't know if I'm too fond of, but at the end of the day, it's been like that for a very long time. Even though the NBA always has been the league that makes changes. That's one thing I like about the NBA, you know, like them changing to the 14-second shot clock. That's big, and that's a good change. Who want to see at the end of the game 24 seconds left, a team can just hold the ball, or, you know, then they miss it, get an offensive rebound, and now 24 more seconds. You know, it could be 40 seconds left in the game or 50 seconds left in the game, and they're up by 2, and then they take a shot and miss it. Now they get a new 24 and just run out the clock and you got a foul. No, having a 14-second shot clock, I think, improved the game vastly, made it far more interesting when it comes down to crunch time, and also sped up the pace of the game and allowed more possessions, which increased the scoring. So kudos to the NBA for that. But, anyway, it's Friday. People got to get their Christmas shopping in. We got Christmas coming up, man. I think I'm gonna unveil some things coming up soon that you guys might like, and I want to do it in time for Christmas, but it looks like I won't be able to do so. But either way, we're gonna start having a little bit more fun on the channel. Really love discussing sports with everybody and just having a great time, man. And everybody with their opinions, I think it's very good. And a lot of you guys really know your basketball, and some of you do have some smooth brains. But at the end of the day, man, it's right on to the real. And much love to these haters. I'm out.